Hey, my name is Ethan, and this is Breakout Fantasy Football, and I'm going to be going over the ADP, average draft position of running backs currently. We're not even hit preseason yet, so this is a little bit early, but just wanted to go over who I think is a good value. I'm not going to hit on every player, every draft position. I'm just going to kind of go over the highlights, who I think is a good value, who I think is getting drafted way too early. So I'm going to start number 1 and number 2, Le'Veon Bell and David Johnson. I think they're pretty much interchangeable here. Both workhorse, both going to be taking 85-90% of the carries. I think I would probably take David Johnson before Le'Veon Bell personally, just because injury history, and we're not sure exactly at this point where Bell's contract is at, and he's still holding out. Last time I checked, so. Again, this is early. In a week, if you're watching this, everything could be different. There could be injuries, all kinds of things. But anyway, I think those are good values. I would definitely take one of those two first or second in my whole draft over any wide receiver, QB, tight end. So I think those are, great values. Number 3 is Ezekiel Elliott. Definitely in a good spot there. There's still a suspension pending at the moment, but I don't expect anything to come of that. And I do think he's going to be, again, I like running backs that are going to take 80% or more of the carries. And typically, I don't like to draft running backs that don't. So even PPR, I still, the consistency is what I look for. So those 3, all I think in good spot. LaShawn McCoy, number 4 off the board. I don't have any issues with that, really. He is getting taken after the wide receivers. It goes from Elliott, Johnson, and Bell are all in the top 4 picks, to McCoy being the 9th or 10th pick total. So there's a gap there with wide receivers in between, which is what I agree with. Number 5 is the first running back where I'm not seeing the value. I wouldn't draft him this early, is Devonta Freeman. I just don't know. There's a lot of question marks with the offensive scheme for this year. I think Matt Ryan is still going to throw the ball a lot, and I think Tevin Coleman is in the mix still to take a percentage. I mean, he's still going to get, the majority of the carries, Freeman is, but Coleman's still there, take a little bit of chunk out of there. I wouldn't draft him quite that high. Number 6, Melvin Gordon. I do think he's going to be a workhorse. I think he's a good value there. Jordan Howard, number 7. Again, I think those are good choices. There's some question marks there. There's not a ton of statistical history, obviously being young guys, but I think that those are both good spots. DeMarco Murray, number 8. I don't think I would draft him that early. I don't think that's a good value. Tennessee's offense just is a little bit of a question, and I think that Henry is still going to be in the mix there. Number 9, Jay Ajayi. He had a good season last year. I wouldn't fault you for taking him that early, but I probably wouldn't take him at 9th off the board. 10, Todd Gurley. Question mark there. They're saying he's doing great in camp, but it's tough to say after the disappointing last year. If you were a Todd Gurley owner last year and you drafted him in the first round, which you probably did, if you owned him, you'd probably agree with me. You wouldn't be taking him quite that early. I do think that he's obviously still got a lot of potential. He's still probably going to be the workhorse there. So if you're kind of stuck in that spot where you missed out on some good running backs early, that's probably not a terrible place. 25th overall, Todd Gurley, by the way, 10th running back. Number 11, Lamar Miller. Still kind of question marks with Texans offense, but he could very well be a workhorse. 12, Leonard Fournette. I have a problem with rookie running backs personally. I wouldn't draft a rookie running back that early. There's been a lot of busts, and you really don't know how they're going to be in the NFL, how hard they're going to work, I guess. Number 13, Marshawn Lynch. I think that he's going to be a workhorse. I think that's a good value, actually, and I think that I would probably even want to take him a little bit early. He's pretty fresh after retirement, and so I'm going to start going through these a little bit quicker. Christian McCaffrey, rookie again, probably wouldn't take him. Number 15, Mark Ingram. I would not take him really until pretty late. Right now he's being taken in the 4th or 5th round, number 15th overall. Saints throw the ball a lot. Drew Brees is going to throw a lot, and you've got Adrian Peterson there, and I just, you don't know how that's going to be split up. Number 16, Isaiah Crowell. I think he's a great value there. I think he is probably going to get more touches this year, and he, was somewhat consistent last year. Carlos Hyde, it's tough with the injury, and they've got some good rookies there, some good other running backs. I don't know if I'd take him that early. Ty Montgomery, tough to say. They're going to throw the ball a lot, so PPR league, he's probably a good spot. Joe Mixon is being drafted 22nd overall over, as a rookie, and over Bernard and Hill, and I think that's, he's going to be a good player, or he's got the potential to be, but I don't see any reason he should be drafted that high. Let's see, C.J. Anderson could be a, 24th overall, or 24th running back. I wouldn't take him that early with Charles there and with his injury history. Frank Gore at 25, I think that's actually a decent value. That's probably a good spot for him. He's old, but he is probably going to take a lot of the workload. They'll probably take a little bit away from him. Adrian Peterson's up here, 27. I wouldn't go that far. And last couple that I'm just going to hit on, Robert Kelly at 34. I don't know if I'm missing something here, but I think that he should be taken a lot earlier. He had a consistent, once he started getting carries, he had some great games and was, kind of their workhorse there. So I'm not sure why he's being drafted so late. Comment below if there's something I'm missing. And then there's guys like Latavius Murray that's pretty late. I think that's not a bad flyer. I don't know that he's going to get the starting job, but I do think that he might be worth a flyer at 46th, running back off the board. Darren McFadden, 48. I wouldn't draft him really under any circumstances. Thomas Rawls, 52, might be a good flyer if Eddie Lacy doesn't work out for them. He still might end up taking, if he's hot, they're going to give him the ball a lot. I think I wouldn't draft any New England Patriots running backs. You just never know what they're doing with their scheme. There's just no consistency there. And yeah, going through the list, I think that's just about it. Comment below if you have any questions, comments, thanks for watching.